It's 1 in the morning. A thumb hovers over a small pink icon, not opening it, holding it until the icon starts to shake and a tiny X asterisk appears in the corner. A box asks, "Delete Tinder." She doesn't hesitate. The icon vanishes. The screen closes the gap as if it had never been there. She is not unusual. In 2025, 69% of the dating apps people downloaded were deleted within a single month. The year before, it was 65. Tinder is shrinking. A generation says it would rather meet someone in a bookstore. So today we want to ask a simple question. Are dating apps dead? We'll look through 6 landmark experiments, a meta-analysis of more than 26,000 people, and a very quiet exit. First, the death certificate, because on paper, it really does look like dying. Match Group, which owns Tinder, reports its flagship's monthly active users down about 9% year over year. The app that defined the swipe is losing the people who swipe. A July 2025 survey by Forbes Health found 79% of Gen Z report burnout from dating apps, the highest of any age group. Not heartbreak, fatigue. And they are voting with their feet. A 2025 study found 77% of people under 30 met their current partner in person, not on a screen. So the obituary almost writes itself. But an obituary should explain the cause of death. And the cause here is stranger than burnout. To find it, we have to go back to a table of jam. In 2000, Sheena Iyengar, then at Stanford, set up a tasting table in a California grocery store. On some afternoons, it held 6 jars of jam. On others, 24. The big display pulled a bigger crowd. 60% of passers-by stopped at the 24 jars. Only 40% stopped at the 6. But of the people who stopped at 6 jars, 30% bought one. Of those who faced 24, only 3% did, 10 times fewer. More choice drew more eyes and produced less action. Now extend that table to 10,000 jars, refreshing every time you blink. That is what a dating app asks the brain to do every night. The crowd gathers. Almost no one buys. If choice freezes us, why is the app so hard to put down? For that, B.F. Skinner has the answer from the 1950s. Skinner found that an animal presses a lever hardest not when reward comes every time, but when it comes asterisk, sometimes asterisk. Unpredictably, on a maybe. The casino learned this. The app inherited it. The match is the reward, but the pull is not the match. The pull is the asterisk, almost asterisk, the half second before you know whether she swiped back, the hover before the next face. A system that pays out on a maybe is exhausting by design. You can feel emptied by it and still reach for it. That is not weakness. That is the lever, working exactly as built. In 2010, 3 researchers, Heino, Ellison, and Gibbs, interviewed online daters and kept hearing one word the users coined themselves: relationshopping. People described looking for a partner the way they described buying a laptop. 5'11", graduate degree, earns above a number. The person became a spec sheet. But on a dating app, you cannot only shop. To be chosen, you must also be listed. The same person at the same moment scans the shelf and stands on it. And you cannot evaluate 10,000 people as products without slowly becoming the kind of person who evaluates. The posture changes the one who holds it. There is also a problem of arithmetic. In 2016, computer scientists led by Gareth Tyson analyzed activity on Tinder to understand the geometry of the swipe. The pattern was sharply asymmetric. Men liked a large share of the profiles they saw and matched with very few. Attention pooled around a small slice of users. Everyone else competed in the runoff. In 2018, Elizabeth Bruch and Mark Newman at the University of Michigan published in Science Advances**. They found something almost universal. The average user, at every level of desirability, messaged people ranked about 25 percentile points above themselves. Everyone, quietly, reaching one shelf up. The geometry makes two kinds of loneliness. One side drowns in messages it didn't want. The other sends messages into a silence that never answers. Both feel it as personal failure. Neither is. Suppose you do match. Suppose you do meet. A 2002 experiment by Daniel Gilbert at Harvard suggests the open door itself can spoil it. Students printed photographs and chose one to keep. One group was told the choice was final. Another was told they could swap it any time that week. A few days later, the group that couldn't asterisk change their mind loved their photo more. The group that still could love it less. Reversibility lowered satisfaction. A door left open is not a freedom. It is a draft, and the dating app is built to keep every door open at all times, including the one you just walked through. There is one more reason the screen struggles. In 2008, Paul Eastwick and Eli Finkel asked people to write down, in advance, exactly what they wanted in a partner. Then they let them meet real people and tracked who fell for whom. The written lists predicted almost nothing. What we say we want and what we respond to in a room do not match. The reason is not that people lie. It's that the things that actually bind two people aren't the things that fit in a profile. Responsiveness, the way an argument gets repaired, whether you feel calmer beside them, none of it can be photographed. None of it can be filtered for. The app sorts on everything except what lasts. At this point, it would be easy to say the apps are simply poison and walk away. The research does not let us say that. The truth is calmer and more specific. In 2026, a team led by Liesl Sharabi pooled 23 studies, more than 26,000 people. On average, app users reported more depression, anxiety, and loneliness than non-users. But the studies are snapshots. A snapshot can show who is unhappy. It cannot show what made them unhappy. People already lonely may simply use the apps more. What does look like a trend over time is exhaustion. Sharabi's team also followed users across 12 weeks. Emotional exhaustion rose the longer they stayed, effort without a rival, like a job that never hires you. So this is not a moral panic. The harm is real, modest, and concentrated in the people who use the apps most, which raises a question the obituary skipped. If they're so bad, why do they work beautifully for some? Because for some people, the apps are not a slot machine. They are a door to a room that, offline, barely exists. For LGBTQ+ daters, the pool in any one town can be small and hard to read. The app doesn't replace local life. It widens it. Here the research trends positive. For older daters divorced, widowed, returning to the field after 20 years, the app reaches past the shrunk circles of midlife. Again, net positive. So the paradox is structural. The apps were built for the biggest, densest market, young, straight, urban. That is exactly the market they serve worst, and exactly the market now walking out. And as that market leaves, a new mediator arrives. The thing that already stood between two people has been handed a ghostwriter. In Match and the Kinsey Institute's 2025 survey of 5,000 singles, 40% said they wanted help writing the perfect profile. 26% had already used AI in their dating life, a 333% jump in a single year. Among Gen Z singles, nearly half. The photo is smoothed. The opening line is generated. The face at the table is no longer quite the face from the profile. It's the one an algorithm guessed would perform. So two systems, wearing your name, now negotiate the first impression. The person across from you is meeting a draft of you that you didn't write, and the exit gets a little quieter and a little faster. So are dating apps dead? Look again at the numbers and a different shape appears. Tinder is shrinking, but Hinge, the one selling intention over volume, grew its users by about 20% in the same stretch. The market isn't dying, it's sorting itself. People aren't quitting love, they're quitting the slot machine and keeping the door. An algorithm can match your list. It cannot do the second thing, choose you again, after the parts that weren't on your profile begin to show. That second choosing is most of what love is. So the apps aren't dead. They were just built for matching in a world that was always about staying. The app didn't die. The people it was built for simply stopped arriving. Claymind may have overthought this one, but if it made you think, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.